Welcome back. We're looking at expressions and formulas, order of operations in this section. We're using PEMDAS to work through these. In this particular example, we are going to evaluate t plus u squared times u minus t if t is equal to 5 and u is equal to -3. Remember, evaluate means substitute and simplify. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute 5 in for t. T appears in two places. And I'm going to substitute in -3 in for u, which appears in two places. I'm going to use parentheses when I substitute in just to make sure I don't make any mistakes and that I get everything substituted in as it's supposed to be. So I'm replacing t with 5. So I now have the quantity 5 plus I'm replacing u. U is -3 squared, and I'm putting that inside parentheses so that I can keep track of that tricky squaring of a negative number, times -3 minus 5. Okay, so PEMDAS, I'm first going to start with parentheses, okay? Inside my parentheses here, I have -3 minus 5. So I'm going to perform that operation. 5 plus -3 squared. -3 minus 5 is going to be -8. I'm going to keep everything else in my problem the same. I could actually keep parentheses here, that's fine. And I've got my next step. Okay, so I've handled all of my parentheses. Now it's time to work on the E, which is exponents. I have one exponent here. The quantity -3 is squared. I'm squaring u in my original problem, and u is -3. -3 squared is -3 times -3, which is +9. Remember to use caution when squaring a negative number. This is why I like to use parentheses to make sure that I'm not accidentally doing -3 squared. I'm doing the quantity -3 squared. So I'm going to replace the quantity -3 squared with +9. So this becomes 5 plus 9 times -8. There's no more exponents in my problem, so I'm going to move on to the multiplication and division, which can be performed in either order. There's no multiplication here, but I do have multiplication between 9 and -8. 9 times -8 is -72, so I will replace 9 times -8 with -72. There's no more multiplication or division, so I'll move on to addition and subtraction. 5 minus 72 is -67. So when I evaluate this expression for these values, I get -67. And my problem is complete. So I have substituted and simplified. Let's look at an example that has some division in it. Evaluate this expression, x to the 4th minus 3wy, all over y cubed plus 2w, if w is equal to 4, x is equal to -3, and y is equal to -5. First thing I need to do is substitute and then simplify. So for my substitute step, I have the quantity -3 raised to the 4th, minus 3 times 4 times -5, divided by the quantity -5 cubed, plus 2 times 4. When I'm looking at this, my first step is parentheses, and there's no visible parentheses. But when I have a division problem written like this, where I have something in the numerator and something in the denominator, there are implied parentheses. I need to simplify the numerator and then simplify the denominator as if they're inside parentheses. So I'm going to keep parentheses up here because I need to handle the numerator and the denominator separately and then move on from there. So within there, I don't have any other parentheses, so I'm going to look at exponents. I have -3 to the 4th and -5 cubed. So -3 to the 4th is -3 times -3 times -3 times -3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives, which is going to make this a positive number. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. So -3 to the 4th I can replace with 81. minus 3 times 4 times negative 5. Negative 5 cubed is negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. 1, 2, 3 negatives. That's an odd number of negatives, so this will be a negative number. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. So this is negative 125 plus 8. All right, so that's all of my exponents. Now I'm going to move on to multiplication and division, working from left to right. So I'm going to look at this. I have multiplication here. So I'm going to take negative 3 times 4, and that's negative 12. And then I can take negative 12 times negative 5, which is positive 60. So this quantity here is positive 60. So 81 plus 60 divided by negative 125 plus 8. Now I'm going to move on to addition and subtraction. 81 plus 60 is 141. Negative 125 plus 8 is negative 117. Now I have multiplication and division. Because I've already dealt with my parentheses, my implied parentheses of the numerator and the denominator, and now I need to divide these. I don't want to pull out my calculator. I want to leave this as a fraction, but I want to leave this as a fraction in simple form, in as simplified of a form as possible. When I look at the numerator, 141, if I add those numbers up, 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. 6 is a number divisible by 3, so I know that 141 is divisible by 3. And 1 plus 1 plus 7 is 9. That's divisible by 3. So 117 is also divisible by 3. So if I take 141 and I divide it by 3, I'm going to do long division here. Goes into 1 no times, goes into 14 4 times, that's 12. 21. 3 goes into 21 7 times. So 141 can be written as 3 times 47. And in the denominator, 117 divided by 3, it goes into 1 0 times, it goes into 11 3. 3 goes into 27 9 times. So 117 is negative 3 times 39. I can cancel those 3's out, and I am left with negative 47 over 39. If you go to your calculator and you check that out, 47 over 39 and 141 over 117 are the same. So this is this expression evaluated for these values.